The ups and downs of love are inevitable. When looking for love, many people wind up dating the wrong people. Think about Madonna. For nearly 8 years, her romance with Guy Ritchie was in the public eye. They wowed audiences and critics alike with their seamless integration of pop culture, family, and film. At posh red carpet events, they were inseparable, and in heartfelt interviews, Madonna frequently discussed their intimacy. Their marriage appeared to be permanent from the outside. Even though it appeared strong, their relationship fell apart so fast. What went wrong? So let's jump right in and find out what this big split is all about. But first, let's travel through time and discover more about Madonna's biography. After the breakup, her perspective on relationships shifted. Her friends and family say that after the divorce, she promised herself she wouldn't cry over little things. Madonna treats her dating life more like a business these days, so don't expect her to commit deeply or build a strong relationship with anyone. Everyone she collaborates with is essentially an extension of her team. She has reportedly been managing her romantic relationships in this manner since her breakup with Guy Ritchie 20 years ago, according to an insider. But how did their relationship shape Madonna into the artist she is today? The 28-year-old soccer player A.K. Morris has been seeing her recently. They appear to have formed a new friendship based on transactions, according to some reports. He is her helper and is constantly there for her. According to a source close to her, even at all hours of the night, he tends to her and the children, jots down ideas as they come to her, and composes her emails. The fact that they sleep in the same bed doesn't change her stern disposition towards him or anyone else. That also rules out any television viewing or bedtime for him before she does. He must rise with her and adhere to her eating regimen. She prefers if he doesn't delete her stuff from his phone. Being Madonna's boyfriend doesn't appear to be easy. Despite the effort, there must be a rationale for her preference for this version. So let's take a closer look at Madonna. Her unusual upbringing began the day she entered this world, August 16, 1958. Growing up in a devoutly Catholic household with Italian and French-Canadian ancestry gave Madonna a sense of national pride as an Italian American. She had tremendous determination and a lot of heartache as she was growing up. As a child, Madonna Ferran ran the household while her father, Silvio Tony Sacconoi, was an optical engineer. But Madonna had a rough patch at the tender age of 5. Upon hearing the news that her mom had breast cancer, Madonna was confused. Taking care of her 6 children while gradually deteriorating physically was a struggle for her mother. Tragically, Madonna's mother passed away in 1963. She reflected on this bereavement frequently. She confessed that she had spent a great deal of time attempting to win back her mom's affection by seeking out compliments and attention. A major influence on her life was her ambition to be unique. Pontiac and Rochester Hills are 2 of Madonna's favorite Detroit neighborhoods from her childhood. She was a melancholy girl who was also maturing into an extremely rigid individual. Coming from a long line of ambitious parents, her siblings were Anthony, Martin, Paula, Christopher, and Melanie. She was always on the go. She enrolled in conventional piano lessons because her father wanted her to have some routine in her life. On the other hand, Madonna had opposite views. She ended herself in dance classes after she convinced him to let her. Christopher Flynn, her ballet instructor, saw her talent immediately and encouraged her to reach her full potential. She was the most adorable little girl ever, he said, and he hoped she'd follow her dream of becoming a dancer. She began a journey from Michigan to stages across the globe as a result of this dream. While attending Rochester Adams High School, Madonna excelled academically. She was very dedicated and accomplished in her academic and athletic pursuits. After graduating from high school in 1976, she attended the University of Michigan on a dance scholarship and spent a summer in North Carolina at the American Dance Festival, where she honed her dancing skills. However, she immediately realized that the conventional college path wasn't her best choice. At the tender age of 19, in 1978, she made a very significant choice. She dropped out of university and traveled to New York City on a $35.00 budget. It was the first time I'd ever been on an aeroplane and in a taxi, she reflected on that terrifying and bizarre occurrence. When I came here, I had $35.00 on me. Never before had I shown such courage. Everyone had their share of difficulties when trying to pursue their dreams in New York, and Madonna was no exception. For example, she worked tirelessly at Dunkin' Donuts until she was infamously fired after only one day for pelting a customer with jelly. She put in long hours at the coat check and even did naked art lessons to supplement her income. Regrettably, she was compelled to do so. On the side, Madonna immersed herself in the vibrant art and music scene of New York City while she worked these jobs. In her early band days, Breakfast Club, she was the drummer. Her career as a singer took off later on. Despite the challenges she faced, she developed her signature style, a blend of intense determination, street smarts, and daring imagination. It wasn't until 1982 that Madonna finally broke through, despite her years of hard work. On Sire Records, her debut single, Everybody, was released. Though it took some time for it to gain widespread popularity, it was soon a club staple in New York City. She followed the success of the single in 1983 with the release of her self-titled debut album. It was on this album that singles Holiday and Borderline emerged. People were drawn to her not only because of her music, but also because of her charisma, courage, and good looks. In her lace gloves, plethora of jewels, disheveled hair, and untamed spirit, Madonna conveyed a powerful message. The release of 1984's Like a Virgin was the true turning point. The title song and her courageous performance at the MTV Video Music Awards catapulted her to international fame. Unlike any other female artist before her, she disregarded convention. She danced her way around the stage while dressed in a snowy white wedding gown. Despite the wrath of some, millions were enthralled. After that, she continued to climb. Her ability to blend infectious melodies with strong, topical lyrics was on full display in hits like Papa Don't Preach and Open Your Heart from True Blue, her third studio album. Like a Prayer, released the following year in 1989, further blurred the lines. The title track's music video was controversial due to its depiction of religious symbols, burning crosses, and racial love. Even the Vatican condemned her. The album was a smashing success despite all the problems it caused. It was the 90s, and Madonna was the biggest star in the music industry and Hollywood at the same time. Her performances in critically acclaimed films such as Evita and Desperately Seeking Susan earned her a Golden Globe. Consider Jean-Paul Gaultier's iconic cone bras and the way her styles evolved over the years. She had a significant influence on the fashion industry as a whole. With each new phase, her ever-changing personality kept her admirers and detractors guessing. Beyond the love, Madonna believes she had discovered, fate had other plans for her. Before she dated Guy Ritchie, Madonna was in a number of high-profile relationships. Her romantic partnerships received equal airtime with her musical career. As a public figure, the Like a Virgin singer understood what it was like to experience love. Her every relationship made headlines. Sean Penn, the actor, was her first husband. Their emotional bond was short-lived. They tied the knot in 1985, the same year Madonna dropped her album True Blue. Penn was gushed over as the coolest dude in the world in her heartfelt note she penned in the margins. Penn spent hours in the sand creating a large heart for Sarah's birthday. That was just one of many incredible things they did for each other throughout their relationship, which lasted through the first couple years, as Sarah and Tim continued to become a couple in universe. But there were some clouds as well. Their friendship had its ups and downs. You may recall that Penn was taken into custody in 1986 for allegedly assaulting a photographer attempting to capture a photograph of the couple while they were on vacation. Their wild romance came to a head in 1989 when they divorced, bringing an end to one of the wildest marriages in Hollywood history. Even though her life was full of ups and downs, Madonna never shied away from seeking love. Shortly thereafter, she developed feelings for fellow famous actor Warren Beatty. They collaborated on the film Dick Tracy from 1989 to 1990. She portrayed the alluring, breathless Mahoney, while he was the main character. They rapidly became a couple, and it was obvious that their paths were destined to cross. Their stunning red carpet performances were covered by the media. However, similar to her previous relationships, it did not endure for very long. Beatty discussed the challenges of dealing with Madonna's insatiable desire for fame and the media's incessant coverage of her in a 1991 interview. After that, in 1991, Madonna's relationship with Vanilla Ice only made matters worse. As a result of the Queen of Pop's new relationship with a young rapper famous for Ice Ice Baby, this news shocked many. Public dates and frequent hand-holding were hallmarks of their brief romance, which ultimately ended in heartbreak. In a later interview, Vanilla Ice discussed their breakup, which occurred after he saw some steamy photos of Madonna and herself in her 1992 book, Bold. He found it excessive and deemed it uncool. The following act, Carlos Leon, had an entirely different vibe. Between them, there was more peace and quiet. Their daughter Lourdes was born in 1996 after they got together in 1994. It appeared like she took a vacation from the drama involving her ex-lovers and focused on being a mum for a while. Their relationship didn't endure much after Lorde was born, but they managed to be amicable and raise their daughter together anyhow. Both Madonna and her music were undergoing transformations by the late 90s. Around 1998, she crossed paths with director Guy Ritchie via mutual friends including Sting and Trudy Styler. Compared to her previous relationships, this one was unique. After a string of wild relationships, Madonna said that her life had finally settled down with Ritchie, who brought stability and humor to her life. Their passionate stroll down the red carpet was a clear sign of their undying love for one another. It was common to see Ritchie leaning in for a word with Madonna. She would burst into laughter and feel an overwhelming sense of warmth as she leaned into him. In interviews, she felt completely at ease around him because of his masculinity, sense of humor, and ability to make her feel comfortable. They breezed through it. Rocco was born to them in August of 2000. A few months down the road, they tied the knot in a fairy tale ceremony at Scotland's Skibo Castle. At the Posh affair, you could see members of the British upper crust and well-known faces. While Madonna resembled a princess from a fairy tale in her stunning Stella McCartney gown, Ritchie appeared endearing in a kilt. There was a time when the most innovative filmmaker Ritchie and the most famous pop star Madonna were considered an unstoppable duo. They appeared to have a happy marriage for a long time due to their unique personalities. Living in the English countryside became second nature to Madonna. She forewent the opulence of Hollywood parties in favor of the rustic allure of horseback riding. Her admirers took note of her newfound proficiency in British. When Ritchie was with Madonna, she enjoyed the limelight, but when he was being interviewed, he kept a low profile. Madonna said that the bond she felt with her friend was unlike anything she had ever experienced. As time progressed, seemingly wonderful things began to go wrong for them. After their marriage ended in 2008, their once harmonious personalities began to clash. A love story that she had hoped would continue indefinitely ended in a shocking way for her. There was more to it than meets the eye. Do you know that after winning Best Actress at the Golden Globes, Madonna declared she would never act again. Someone whose performances in Evita and Desperately Seeking Susan stunned audiences would find that surprising. The Queen of Pop is always making waves, so why did she choose to quit Hollywood? You can find the solution in one of her worst, most famous films. Madonna and Guy Ritchie were eager to jump into a film project after their 2000 Scottish wedding. However, neither of them benefited from it. The 1974 Italian film, Swept Away by an Unusual Destiny in the Blue Sea of August, served as the inspiration for the 2002 film Swept Away. In the remake, Madonna portrayed Amber Layton. Although the original was beloved by many for its incisive social commentary and depiction of intricate power dynamics, the rendition performed by Madonna and Ritchie fell flat. The original film's dad, Adriano Giannini, played the role of a rough-around-the-edges fisherman who befriends a spoiled woman named Amber after she becomes stranded on an island by herself. The film fails miserably as a remake of a classic in its examination of unexpected romance and class conflict. Those who had criticisms were not hesitant to voice them. With critics praising its lack of political context and describing it as confusing, Swept Away received a dismal 5% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. According to Roger Ebert, Madonna and Guy Ritchie ruined a power movie by making it a dull display of ostentation. An ego trip gone horribly wrong, according to the New York Times. Support for the film was low even among Madonna's most ardent admirers. It was a financial bust as well. Produced at a cost of $10 million, 0 cents, it failed to generate even half that amount. Its first weekend earnings were around $30,000, 0 cents. Worldwide, there are 36 million. It was one of the worst box office hits of the Zero S, with theaters pulling it after just 3 weeks due to how terrible it was. Also, the awards season was not great. The 2002 Stinker Bad Movie Awards bestowed the Worst Picture accolade upon it. Both Madonna and Giannini were named Worst On-Screen Couple and Worst Actress, respectively. The following year, it took home 2 more Razzies for Worst Picture and Worst Remake or Sequel, adding insult to injury. Madonna took home the hardware for Worst Supporting Actress and Worst Actress for Die Another Day. The fact that Ritchie was named Worst Director only added to the movie's already comical status in Hollywood.